sports, kiddies programs, and more at your beck and call on Al-IyamoyeTv and radio. Just visit and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Follow us on all social media platforms. Then you are a global citizen. Al-IyamoyeTv and radio, voice of the voiceless.
Nani. Rooney! Oh, wonderful! What a goal! Wayne Rooney out of this world!
Your Saturdays just got better. 7 hours of live streaming of football games.
Messi. Immens Messi. Encara Messi.
Featuring Premier League, La Liga, Ligue 1, Bundesliga.
All right, good morning to everyone out there. That's a Sportville. Welcome to Sportville on Al-IyamoyeTv and radio. Here we brings you all the latest news on football as it is now from the past 24 hours that you've not heard, you've not known before about football. Now I'm giving you to the updates about Sportville. In the world of sports, we give you on football, we give you from the sport in boxing, basketball, we give you updates on that. And I am IBRAHIM ONIGBINDE. From this morning, there are a lot of matches that went on yesterday, which I'll give you a report on that for those of you that missed out the matches that went on yesterday. But before that, let me go on Inter Milan news about Lautaro Martinez agents. They receive a silver breeze, but the player always tells me, Inter, only Inter. That is Lautaro Martinez, only one Inter Milan. He doesn't want to go into any other club. Again, he said, Lautaro has a special feeling with club and fans. He loves Inter, the group and the project. We are gonna discuss new deal. The feeling is great. That is from Lautaro Martinez. We only want to time it. You know, if you could remember some several transfers back. Chelsea went for Lautaro Martinez. Like, we want to get Lautaro Martinez. Even Real Madrid, a lot of clubs went on for Lautaro Martinez, but he only wanted Inter Milan. He said he didn't want to leave Inter Milan. We just want to stay at Inter Milan. That's to Lautaro Martinez. Now away from that, we just moved to Real Madrid. Carlo Ancelotti was talking about David Alaba's injury. David Alaba's injury is not very serious. It could be ready against Napoli. That is in the next UEFA Champions League that will be played. Real Madrid against Napoli. International breaks are the problem. The players are tired, and there is no time for recovery. Rumors on Jeremy Boateng as an option for Real Madrid are completely fake. You know, a lot of rumors have been coming up to you, have been coming up to everyone like Jeremy Boateng will be a replacement for David Alaba. Boy, they're telling us now that it's absolutely a fake rumor. There's nothing of sort from Real Madrid as it is now. So Real Madrid was not to get up to that. I thought they only want to take on David Alaba, which they said his injury is not that much like the one of Thibaut Courtois, which is out of the season. You know, Thibaut Courtois is out of the season as it is now. It's not more news to everyone. We all know that. That was why they went on a loan deal for several goalkeepers. Unfortunately, they end up with Kepa Arrizabalaga, former Chelsea keeper. Presently, he's still a Chelsea keeper because he went on loan to Real Madrid. So we never can tell. No one can say what will happen tomorrow. By the next summer, Chelsea will end up selling Arrizabalaga to Real Madrid, or he comes back to Chelsea football team. We never can tell. Away from that, let me just bring it up to you from Newcastle United. Ivan Barnes have been ruled out until 2024. Oh, that's a big loss for Newcastle. Actually, he's not part of first 11 to the Newcastle team, but he's just been brought to the team. So Ivan Barnes now will be ruled out until 2024. Is somehow huge. He's going to be out for around 3 months. No surgery required, which is good news. But his foot is now in the boot. It's an injury underneath his toe, says Eddie Howe. That is the manager of Newcastle United. Was talking about Ivan Barnes. Said he will be ruled out until next year. That means no more matches for Ivan Barnes this year again. Before going to Arsenal, let me just bring it up to you from the world of sport. And there's some sport on the Sky Sport which Roma boss Jose Mourinho is linked to be reunited with Tottenham defender Eric Dier in the Italian capital after previously admitting it was wrong about the player. That is from Roma boss Jose Mourinho. Also, Liverpool manager Jurgen Klopp has clarified comment he made on new boy Wataru Endo recently, with Klopp insisting he is satisfied with the midfielder start of life at Anfield. You know, when Jurgen Klopp was about to get Romeo Lavia, he went for Moses Caicedo. Unfortunately, when Chelsea went for the two guys, with the two players, he later went for Wataru Endo as a replacement for the two players. Now, he said he was even doubting him, like would he be able to replicate what is expected of him at the midfield. Unfortunately, he said he's satisfied with the midfielder start at Anfield as it is now. He's okay with Wataru Endo is an age player, almost 30 years of age for Wataru Endo, and he's performing well. He's doing perfectly well for Liverpool side for Jurgen Klopp. Also, Mauricio Pochettino has confirmed that Chilwell is set for an extended spell on the sideline in a new blow to struggling Chelsea. You know, Chelsea have been struggling. A lot of things has been happening to Chelsea this season. Now to Ben Chilwell, an injury has come up to Ben Chilwell. Okay, what is happening to Chelsea this season? Hope Chelsea is not facing. I can't even talk about that because, you know, Chelsea has had a lot of problems this season with the injury, the likes of Rhys James, Bernardo Chile, Wesley Fofana. A lot of players like that has had an injury. Christopher Nkunku. You know, now Ben Chilwell is having an injury again, joining those that has been on the injury side for Chelsea. Now to Arsenal, Arteta on Kai Havertz. Since Kai Havertz has been an Arsenal team, I don't think he has a goal. He's just struggling. He's struggling. We're trying to help him as much as possible. Give him confidence as many to exploit his talent. You know, there are so many parts of his game that he's doing exceptionally well and others that needs to keep improving. We are with him. That is with Arteta. You know, you have to believe in the player you are. You know, Kai Havertz was brought to Arsenal team with a huge money, £65 million. So they can't just believe he can't be able to do what is expected of him. They have to leave him on the bench. No, they have to. So he has to believe in him. You know, he has to trust him. Like, you can do this, you can do that. So by the time you start using him, by the time you give him a lot of chances, he should be able to do what people are expected of him. A lot of fans out there, if Arsenal fans were like, we want Kai Havertz to leave the team. A lot of people like that were talking about him. Even they said to Saudi Arabia to come for him, even if it is £1 million. They should come get Kai Havertz. Unfortunately, Kai Havertz is an Arsenal player as it is now. You just have to give him a lot of chances. We have to trust him. You have to let him know he is part of us, so that he could believe in his team. This is to Manchester City. Pep Guardiola lays down a challenge to both Jack Grealish and Jeremy Doku in the battle to claim Manchester City left wing spot. Insisting who performs better will start. Jeremy can play on the right as well. Guardiola said, who's going to play more? It's who performs better. It's simple. Phil Foden can play on the left too. The guy who performs well and feels better will have more chance to play. That is for Manchester City. Pep Guardiola was talking about Jeremy Doku. Since when Jeremy Doku joined Manchester City, a lot of things have been happening to Jack Grealish. Jack Grealish has been put on the bench, sidelined on the bench because of what is happening presently now. You know, Jeremy Doku is a perfect player, which every team wants to have in his or their team. Presently, it's giving a lot of problem to Jack Grealish. And Guardiola has said it. Whoever performs well, whoever performs perfectly well will be the one they will be using. You know, the other will just be a substitute player to them. So Jeremy Doku has been performing well for Manchester City. Jack Grealish also, before the arrival of Jeremy Doku, he has been performing well as well. But presently, Jeremy Doku is at his peak for Manchester City. He's performing well. He has been a better player for him. So to Manchester City, it's just you just have to look into that. Guardiola can just not lose on both sides, on Jamie Doku and Jack Grealish. She just has to be very, very, very much okay with which of the player you have to choose from. Now, Jose Mourinho's Roma have won just one of the first 6 Serie A games. The Portuguese admit it has been the worst spell of his career. You know, that is to Jose Mourinho. He has just won only one. That's just serious. One of his 6 games they've played this season. Well, just one of the 6 matches they've just played this season. That's a big loss for Jose Mourinho. A big loss for Jose Mourinho. He has just to, I think the team has to, they need to rotate. Maybe Jose Mourinho have to, football now has gone beyond what Jose Mourinho, when he was coaching then, you need to play with a pack player. Like you want to play a defensive game. No, football of nowadays doesn't look into that. You need to bring up some ideas. You need to bring in a lot of ideas into the team for you to know, for you to be able to be at the top. You know, if you want to be called the best manager, if you want to be called the best, or if you want to know the best of you, you have to bring in a lot of things into the team, not just the way you have been doing back then. Look at Roma we know back then, the Roma of last season. Look at what they did. Look how they played. But this season has been the worst season for Jose Mourinho. 1 win out of 6 games they've played this season. Oh, that's so serious for Jose Mourinho. Now let me just bring in the news on tennis. Tennis legend Maria Sharapova issued a glowing assessment of Coco Gauff after watching the American claim a first Grand Slam at the age of just 19 at the 2023 US Open. That is Maria Sharapova. He has won the Grand Slam at the age of 19. At the age of that is in US Open. Now, Benderoja admits he's delighted to see Rio Owit commit his future to Celtic. That is from Benderoja of Celtic manager. Rangers are set to part company with former Ibrox player John Brown and Billy Kirkwood as part of the backroom overhaul. That is the news from that. Let me just go on a commercial break now. After that, I'll give you the update on matches that went on yesterday. You are, because something happens to Barcelona yesterday against Sevilla. Barcelona against Sevilla, which Sergio Ramos did something. When I come back from the commercial break, I'll give you the latest news on that. Let me go and come back. Do stay with us.
Thousands have been disappointed severally in their bid to seek greener pasture abroad. To those quack in the traveling agency business, it is a rocket science. That is not our case at Tausaf Travels and Tour. We have in-depth details on how to successfully, without stress, help you process and secure your visa to anywhere in the world. Do you want permanent residential visa, visiting and tourism visa, student visa to places like Europe, America, Asia, Africa? It's no big deal to us at Tausaf Travels and Tour. Our years of experience and expertise speaks volume for us. Let's process and secure visa for you to UK, USA, and Canada within a twinkle of an eye. We offer Hajj and Umrah services to our Muslim faithfuls. What are you waiting for? Consult us at number 9 Tausaf Central Mosque, Sholanke Street, behind Laroy Hotel, Abiola Way, Abeokuta. 0802 733 0900 or 0806 578 4060. Stop wasting money. Pay for peace of mind. Talk to Tausaf Travels and Tour.
Gbogbo aláfẹ́ tó gbayì tó fẹ́ wọṣọ yìí ṣoge tó pàgbàmù ló ń kọjá lọ sí House of Zayana. House of Zayana, the name I know when we talk of top-notch fashion, quality materials and class. House of Zayana, lẹ́tí máa rójúlówó Turkey wears, Egypt and Malaysia clothing, Dubai, àwọn designer bags lóríṣiríṣi, àwọn ìtẹ̀lẹ̀ bàtà tó jiná tí wọ́n fawọ́ original ṣe, àwọn aago kájọ́ tó ń ka wákàtí ọjọ́, designer sunglasses and perfumes, pẹ̀lú àwọn gbogbo nǹkan tóbìnrin àsìkò fi ń gbafẹ́ lò gbà. Mo débẹ̀, ojú mi ń ṣe kámi, èmi ni ó rà, èmi ni ó mú. Gbogbo ẹ̀yin mùsùlùmí ẹlẹ́sìn tẹ́ gbòógè gbọ́n pa nípa fashion tẹ́ wá nílò jàlábíà hijab àti àbáyà lóríṣiríṣi House of Zayana lẹ́ẹ̀ tí rí gbogbo ẹ̀ rà. House of Zayana wà ní 52 ọlọ́run ṣògo road adjacent Redeemed Church Agape Parish ọlọ́run ṣògo Abẹ́òkúta. Lórí Instagram House of Zayana 08165688618 House of Zayana ilé ìtajà tá a ti ń tojúlówó aṣọ àti nǹkan aṣaralóge tí ń gbéni níyì.
Welcome back to the news on air. I'm just about to give you a Nigerian news of Victor Osimhen. Nigerian minister intervened in Osimhen's deteriorating relationship with Napoli. The Nigerian government has become directly involved in Victor Osimhen's ongoing feud with Napoli after their disgraceful social media antics. The striker is said to leave the club after he was subjected to ill-advised TikTok videos on Napoli's official channel where he was mocked over a penalty in one post before being compared to a coconut in another, with critics insisting the second video had a racist motive behind it. Napoli insists they never wanted a mock Osimhen but stopped short of apologizing for the incident. The striker had already deleted picture of himself in Napoli's shirt from his Instagram and refused to celebrate after scoring against Udinese on Wednesday. Now the Nigeria is being supported by his government after the African National Sport Minister Senator John Ewa Eno explained his office is trying to contract the player and offer support. In a statement published on Friday, the minister said over the last weekend the development arriving in Naples regarding striker Victor Osimhen made me very sad. You know, that was, the news has been coming up, which everybody has had. It's not just the news anymore, of Victor Osimhen being mocked by Napoli. You know, now the Nigerian minister has intervened into that. We don't know what happens to Osimhen now. He has deleted all his picture on Napoli's, on Instagram page. So what will happen to Napoli? What will happen to Victor Osimhen now? Is Victor Osimhen leaving? Will he leave Napoli or he still be there? You know, he was fortunate to score against Udinese on Wednesday after being when he was bullied, after he was mugged. He later scored, but he didn't even jubilate with them. He didn't even celebrate the goal. Even when he was coming to the hotel where they were camped, he didn't even greet anyone. He only shake hand with the manager. Zelensky, were trying to greet him. He snubbed everyone and just went on to where they were camped before the match was played on Wednesday. Fortunately, he had a goal scored on Wednesday. Unfortunately, he did not even jubilate. He didn't celebrate the goal. He was just looking like, oh, what is happening to this team? No, my own thought of that was just because a lot of racism has been happening before today. So I believe Victor Osimhen should just, if he can just, because this has not been happening even when Koulibaly was there. So it has been, racism has been happening before now. So I think Victor Osimhen should just see that, talk to himself. What should I do? Should I leave Napoli? Should I still stay at Napoli? Would I still be recognized the way I am before at Napoli? You know, Victor Osimhen should just see it and look into that very well. Now to Yamal. Lamine Yamal of Barcelona was Ramos' El Clasico mascot. Now he made a legend score an own goal. Lamine Yamal. When Ramos held Lamine Yamal's hand in the Camp Nou, turned it back in 2016, he definitely didn't have premonitions of the Barcelona youngster one day inflicting misery on him at the age of 37. To be fair, Ramos probably didn't envisage himself being back playing at Sevilla, and Friday's match deciding own goal at Nou Camp might have him wishing it wasn't. Barcelona maintained the stands at the top of the La Liga with 1-0 home win over Sevilla, sealed by Ramos turning the ball into his own net in the 76th minute. But it was the effort of the now 16-year-old Lamine Yamal who prompted him to make the grave close-range error in the stadium. He once enjoyed tremendous success with Real Madrid. Now a video was emerged showing, I have the chance. Emerged showing Yamal and Ramos once standing hand in hand. That was when Ramos was still young. hand in hand together in the tunnel at the Nou Camp, Spain. That's the two biggest team in March for the Clasico battle. You know, I didn't mean I know this will come up today. I will have bring on the video for you guys to watch when Sergio Ramos and Lamine Yamal, when Lamine Yamal was still young then. Now, Lamine Yamal made Sergio Ramos to score an own goal for Barcelona. That was yesterday night. The match was so terrible, which everyone like, oh, could this be happening? Could this be happening to Sergio Ramos? You know, he was so angry to himself yesterday night. It was like, oh, could this be so? You know, Sergio Ramos, that was where he started his football at Sevilla. And I went back to Sevilla to prove himself like, this is where I am to retire. I want to be tired at Sevilla. Look at Sergio Ramos now. Lamine Yamal made an own goal by himself into the back net of Sevilla, which saw Barcelona won the match against Sevilla yesterday. So on the matches that came on yesterday, that is from the Saudi Pro League, Al-Fahar against Al-Ittihad. They played a 0-0, which is 0-0. On to Al-Tai against Al-Nassr. That is 1-2, which in favor of Al-Nassr, which Talisca and Cristiano Ronaldo had made the goal score for Al-Nassr. Now to Al-Hilal, Al-Shabaab played a 2-0, which Neymar da Silva, Koulibaly and Alexander Mitrovic made a goal scoring. Koulibaly and Mitrovic made a goal scoring, which Neymar missed a penalty kickoff yesterday against Al-Shabaab. And Hoffenheim against Dortmund played a 3-1 win for Dortmund, one against Hoffenheim, which Volkong, Marco Reus and Julian Racing made a goal scoring for Dortmund against Hoffenheim yesterday. On Barcelona, I said it against Sevilla, which they won 1-0 against Sevilla, which Sergio Ramos made an own goal. And Strasbourg against Lens, which Lens made a goal scoring, which El Wahi made a goal for Lens against Strasbourg. You know, El Wahi has been a top player for Lens. He was being monitored the summer. The went from the transfer window. It was being talked about by Chelsea and some other team. Unfortunately, he didn't later move to anywhere. It's told by them, like, I will stay here. I have nowhere to go. On the matches that will come up today in the English Premier League, Aston Villa against Brighton. Aston Villa against Brighton will play by 12:30 today. And from there, we have Bournemouth against Arsenal by 3 o'clock p.m. Everton against Luton Town. Manchester United against Crystal Palace. Newcastle against Burnley. West Ham against Sheffield United. Wolves against Manchester City. All these matches are coming up by 3 o'clock p.m. in the English Premier League for today. Now into Bundesliga, we have it Bochum against Borussia Mönchengladbach. Cologne against Stuttgart. And we have Mainz against Leverkusen, Bayern Leverkusen. Wolfsburg against Frankfurt. That is in Bundesliga for today's matches that will come up. Now let me just give you some matches that will come up again in the world of sports. That is, let me talk. We have an FA Cup today as well, which, you know, the Championship, the League One, they will play. A lot of matches were coming up today from that side as well. And the matches that will come up from Serie A, we have Milan against Lazio, AC Milan against Lazio. We have it by 5 p.m. By 5:30 p.m. in English Premier League, we have Tottenham against Liverpool. That's a big match today. The star match to watch today, that is Tottenham against Liverpool. Never walk alone. Today, do you think Liverpool will walk alone? I want you to just predict that. I want a prediction from that. Tottenham against Liverpool. Just predict on that. If I should see some prediction, if you are fortunate to win the prediction, probably you may have a gift to give on air by Monday. Probably you may be given a gift which will be called Tottenham against Liverpool. Predict and win from there. Also in La Liga, we have Girona against Real Madrid. And Bundesliga by 5:30 p.m. Leipzig against Bayern Munich. In Saudi Pro League, we have Al-Ahly against Al-Ittihad. And Serie A, we have Sportiville against Inter Milan. By 8 o'clock tonight, Real Sociedad against Athletic Bilbao. And in League One, we have Monaco against Marseille. Tomorrow, that is on Sunday. We know we won't be here. Let me just give you the news that will come up on Sunday. That is tomorrow. Nottingham Forest against Brentford. On Monday, Fulham against Chelsea. That is from English Premier League. From La Liga, tomorrow we have Almeria against Granada, Alaves against Osasuna, Atletico Madrid against Cadiz, Real Betis against Valencia. That is from let me take it from Serie A. For today's match, Leeds against Napoli, Milan against Lazio. I've given out that Sportiville against Inter. Tomorrow, Bologna against Empoli, Udinese against Genoa, Atalanta against Juventus, Roma against Frosinone. That is from our Serie A. In League One, tomorrow, Reims against Lyon, Havre against Lille, Nice against Stade Bucharest, Toulouse against Metz, Lorient against Montpellier, and Rennes against Nantes. That is for the matches that will come up. The matches that will come up in both La Liga and Serie A, in Bundesliga, in English Premier League. That is for now. Let me just give you the last news on Al-IyamoyeTv and radio, which from Chelsea, which Pochettino suggests he wants to be more involved in Chelsea transfer strategy. You know, we've been talking about this, that so the Chelsea cabinet, the Chelsea, which told Boli and Baghdadi, that they want signing for making the signing for Chelsea. But Pochettino now suggests he wants to be more involved in Chelsea transfer. But Pochettino has said he is already assessing potential target as he looks to take a greater involvement in Chelsea's transfer business. Chelsea spent more than £400 million on new signing in the summer after Pochettino was appointed in May. The Blues also brought in more than £300 million worth of player sales, and the former Spurs boss has confirmed that he expects the club to be active again in the January transfer window. They have to make some signing in the January transfer window again. Pochettino said the good thing in the relationship and communication is very good with the sporting directors and owner. When the transfer window closed, I said I need to be more involved now in all the decisions. This is what you can just talk about in the world of football as it is now. You need to let the manager of the team to be involved in the transfers, because if he has an hand in the transfer, he knows the kind of player he wanted. He knows the kind of capability of player he can use. So when you give him the chance to make the transfer, to be involved in it, whenever you want to sack him, you'll be able to do that. Like, we give you all what you want. We give the money. We give you what it takes to bring in some players. Unfortunately, you bought the players. Eventually, no one has even proved to you that they are capable of doing that. But unfortunately, now Pochettino has said it to them. I want to be more involved in Chelsea transfer strategy. If you can give him, if he is given this chance, I know he will be able to prove himself that he is worth more than what you expect of him. And now to that will be the end of today's package on the Sportville. Today, I love you guys. You know, I need to read some comments on the Facebook, but unfortunately, I have no chance to do that because time has fast spent against me. I have no more time to spend. Let's just meet by Monday again for another episode of Sportville, which will give you the latest news that came up, the matches that went today, tomorrow. We'll give you the update on that. Then we'll talk about the matches and how you will see what will come up of that. Thank you for listening. Thank you for joining our program of Sportville on Al-IyamoyeTv and radio. Do enjoy the rest of your weekend and do stay with us. We still have more programs to give you. From here now, we move on to Fresh Light, which will give you the latest news on what is happening in the world of what is happening in the world as it is now, all around that, the world as a whole. We give you the news on that. You stay with us. You join us from there. After that, we have Smart Kid, where we do talk, we interact with the kids out there. When you talk about what is going on, how do you spend your holiday? Now to the Maulud Nabi that just came out, how did you spend it at home? The just short holiday you have, how did you spend it? We have the Smart Kid with Anti-Viscot. Now let's just move on from our Sportville. Then we move to the next program. Thank you for listening. Thank you for joining. Do enjoy the rest of your weekend. Goodbye.
Who
Your Saturdays just got better. 7 hours of live streaming of football games.
Messi. Immens Messi. Encara Messi. Gol, gol, gol.